Hey yo, it's Brian here. Today, talking about the San Francisco 49ers. In this one, looking at the offense for the 49ers, just giving an appreciation post for the whole offense. I did one for Brock Purdy, but want to do one for everybody else for the whole game, like Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Trent Williams, all those other players that are involved in the offense, and of course the head genius man, most of the time genius man, Kyle Shanahan. These guys, they make everything happen, and honestly, if you look at almost every single position, minus some parts of the offensive line, we had the best in every single one. The running back position, you can argue Christian McCaffrey. Wide receiving core, you can argue both Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel. Deebo is jack of all trades. Ayuk is just one of the best route runners I've seen in a while since like Devontae Adams. I know that's kind of bold to say, but he's just that good. He's having a breakout year, and we finally got the year that we wanted for Brandon. We've been waiting for a long time for him to get that big chunk, big good year. This is it right here, 2023. Also, George Kittle, we know he's one of the best tight ends in the NFL. You can argue that any day of the week. Brock Purdy, he's playing like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, too. Trent Williams, he's just a beast of a left tackle. I'd say, honestly, he's the MVP of the whole 49ers offense. Trent Williams, I know that's crazy, right? An offensive lineman, but left tackle, the guy to protect Brock Purdy on the left side, blind side. Also, the running game is with and without him. It rides and dies with him, essentially. If you don't have Trent, then it's going to be a big problem at all. I mean, as much as Jalen Moore's done an admirable job of covering Trent when he was out, it's not the same without Trent. And honestly, I mean, Deebo and Trent being out for those 3-game losing streak, I think Trent was a bigger loss because of the things he can do for the whole offensive line. He can block, he can get Christian McCaffrey big runs, big follower guy. That's what you want in a guy. I mean, you guys can comment below who you think is the bigger MVP between those two. But I'm going to say Trent Williams, definitely. I mean, if I'm like the Jacksonville Jaguars linebacker or defensive back in that game, I'm running away from him. Yeah, I'll fight another day. I really do not want to mess with him at all. That's just how big and how strong he is as an O lineman, and very intelligent as well. Love me some Trent. The whole position, when you look at the whole statistics as a whole, yards after catch, you look at just statistics in general, points per game, I think they're about number 3. I would say behind the Dolphins and the Cowboys, but the 49ers have had tougher competition, I would say. I don't really like to use that argument too much. I mean, the Cowboys, yes, they have been beating on bad teams like the New York Giants, the Carolina Panthers, Washington Commanders, and stuff like that. But at the same time, hey, you only play who's on your schedule. You don't get to pick who you play. It is what it is. And, I'm not the biggest fan of people using that argument as to see why this team has that many wins. Hey, a win is a win at the end of the day, and that's what I'm going to stick it to. But still, 49ers, I mean, they have beaten the Eagles and the Cowboys. Those are two very prominent NFC teams that they're competing for the number 1 seed. Very good, very impressive right there. And you look at yards per game, I think they're about top 5 as well. Honestly, I mean, the 49ers should be number 1 in almost every category. The losing streak did hurt a little bit, but they came back ever since the bye week. That's the big difference maker right there. We have everybody as healthy as possible. I think that's also a big difference maker right there. I mean, you see all these quarterbacks getting hurt, unfortunately, for the rest of the year. You saw Kirk Cousins towards Achilles. Aaron Rodgers week 1. Joe Burrow, wrist injury, couldn't even throw the football. Yeah, I know. A lot of injuries in the quarterback position, but loving it so far. Kyle Shanahan has devised a fantastic game plan for the 49ers offense. It's been great. The Eagles game was just how powerful this offense could be. As I said, 6 straight touchdowns in that game, 6 touchdown drives. Like, come on, what more can you ask for this offense, right? There's a lot of things that they could improve on, I would say. I'd say Colton McKivitz in the right side, that is a little bit concerning. That's probably the only thing I'd be worried about if I'm Kyle Shanahan. But other than that, when you have Trent Williams and Aaron Banks on the left side, they do a really good job. And then you have your skill position players, the best at their respective positions. You can't look at anything else, I would say. You can't argue about other guys. I mean, the only team I could see competing with the 49ers in terms of offensive power is our guy Mike McDaniel in Miami with Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, and Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. They have all these fantastic guys. And then the trigger man, Tua. They've done a really good job in Miami. Much props to them, and always rooting for them, except when we had to play them, right? Like last year. But still, 49ers offense, come on. Awesome. Tomorrow I'll talk about the defense and how great they are under Steve Wilks for the most part. Losing streak, as always, has been a big thing for Steve Wilks, and he probably was on the hot seat just a little bit, but hey, he found his way ever since the bye week. Much respect to him for making some changes, and a lot of people, including myself, had to retract some of the words that we said about him. But hey, better late than never, right? It's been really effective defense right now. But going back to the offense, I mean, top 3 in almost every statistical category you can look for. For me, in my opinion, they're number 1. I mean, it is a little bit biased to say as a 49er fan, but really, if you've seen the games for the 49ers ever since the bye week, I mean, they've just been so dominant. They won by double digits. For the most part, they haven't really had to play behind. They did against the Eagles a little bit, but credit to the defense, they only allowed 2 field goals. It would have been interesting to see if they would have scored 2 straight touchdown drives to make it 14-0. That would have been really interesting to see. But still, defense did their job. Offense did more than their job. It's been great to see. Deebo Samuel, love me some him. Christian McCaffrey, big difference maker in the running game. They have been using him a lot. A little bit concerning, but hey, if it means going all the way to a deep playoff run, then it's totally worth it. And Brock Purdy, the trigger man, the big difference maker for the whole offense. I mean, people are saying that he has a really good team, but hey, they don't make the argument with Jalen Hurts and Tua. They have some superstar players as well. Jalen, he has Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, DeAndre Swift as well. Look at the Miami Dolphins. Raheem Mostert, one of the fastest players in the NFL. Tyreek Hill, probably the fastest player in the NFL. I mean, they're not really criticizing them, but they're criticizing Brock Purdy. It's kind of weird. But I think because, honestly, he's a low draft pick. He's Mr. Irrelevant in terms of the last pick of the draft in 2022. I think that people hold that against him and they kind of want him to fail. It's just kind of weird. I really don't understand what the whole thing with Brock Purdy failing and wanting him to fail as a quarterback. I mean, he's playing really good football. And yes, you have a good team, but you have to have a good team. You look at the other teams run the organization in the NFL. The Panthers, Bryce Young, he has nothing to work with. Even Mac Jones to some extent with the Patriots, he has nothing to work with as well. He's getting benched left and right. You look at the Jets as well. I mean, they have a great defense, but their offense is just floundering, and maybe it's because of Nathaniel Hackett's play calling, not using Breece Hall as much. You got to look at the situation for every single team, offense, anything you want to call it. But Brock Purdy, he's been in the right place at the right time, but he's also been the good trigger man, because we've had other quarterbacks before him that weren't able to get the job done, unfortunately, like C.J. Beathard, Brian Hoyer, Nick Mullins, Jimmy Garoppolo a little bit, although he did have some success. They did go to the Super Bowl with him, but I mean, Brock has taken this offense to another level, and Kyle Shanahan has been very open to letting Brock throw the ball many, many times, attempting a lot of passes. It's not like the NFC Championship game where Jimmy was only throwing 8 passes because Kyle didn't trust him, but Kyle trusts Brock 100%. That's what I like about it. That's what I like about Brock big time. Making mostly the right decisions and making plays and being Houdini. I mean, what more can you ask for a great quarterback in number 13? So, love me the offense. Love me some Kyle Shanahan doing great things for the most part. And I can't really say anything else. The offense is on fire, right? So, yep, that's pretty much it, you guys. Please let me know what you guys think about the offense for the 49ers. What are the reasons why the offense is playing really good? Any certain players that stand out to you guys? Any guys that could use improvements, or just number 1 guys in general? Please let me know in the comments below, definitely. If you guys like this, per usual, like and subscribe. That is much appreciated. And I hope to catch you guys up tomorrow when I talk about the defense for the 49ers and how great they've been under Steve Wilks. Bye, guys. Love y'all. Hope you have a great rest of your day, rest of your night. Go Niners all day.